Today in our 2016 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited, we're going to take a look at and also show you how to install the Roadmaster Battery Charge Line kit for towed vehicles. Part number is RM-156-25. Alright, now this is what our charge wire kit's going to look like when we pull it out of the package. Here you can see our red wire. What this is going to do, this is going to take power from our RV. We'll use just a standard 6-round plug. It's going to be wired to that center pin. The RV is going to send power into that, and it's going to run through our wire, through our circuit breaker, and then we'll connect it with the ring terminal to our battery. Now the 6-pole round socket you will have to provide on your own if this is what you intend to use. This charge wire kit will also work with a 7-round if you happen to have that. It's not very typical you see those on the front of a towed vehicle though. Now this is a 15 amp circuit breaker. So it's going to take the power coming in from the RV, goes through that circuit breaker, and the circuit breaker is going to protect our Jeep's electrical system. So if there happens to be a short from where this runs at the plug at the front of the vehicle up to our circuit breaker, or when we plug our car into our RV, if its charge line or if its power line happens to have a short or something, this circuit breaker is going to protect the system. What it's going to do for us is it's going to provide a charging force or a charging circuit that will charge our battery while we're heading down the road with our RV to prevent that battery rundown. So when we get where we're going, we're not going to hit the key and the car just click. We'll have a fully charged battery that'll be ready to go for us. To help protect our wire from shorts, they've also provided some wire loom. As the instructions indicate, they want us to run this along the wire as much as possible. We're going to try to have this fully contained inside that wire loom. That way we'll have good protection from any outside sources that might rub or pinch our wiring. Now we're going to route our wire up over the skid plate here. And we're going to come out of the hole. You can see we've already got our ground wire and our lighting wire ran up that way. We'll just do the same thing with this one. Get that pulled down here. Now this is going to be ran up behind the base plate. We're going to bring it over to our wiring. So that should be a good length. So what I'm going to do is just tape that off to my towed vehicle wiring, just a little bit there. Then we'll use that wire loom to go around all of it. Make it look pretty nice coming out of the front of the vehicle here. Now with that in our loom there, we're going to bring it over behind the bracket where we're going to be mounting our plug. Let's get those wires passed through. Now we'll want our red wire to be about the same length as the other wires that we intend to connect. And we're going to be connecting that to the number 2 pin, or the center pin, on our 6-pole plug there. Now the other ones you'll want to wire up per the instructions, so your lights will operate properly on your vehicle. Once we have all of our connections made, we like to use a little bit of black silicone sealant, and we're going to fill in basically the entire cap that's going to go on this. This is going to prevent any kind of issues with shorts when this gets corroded in here, because they're always exposed to the elements, and as much as you try to seal them up, it just doesn't seem to happen. So this has been the solution that we've come up with, and it works out really well. You definitely want to test your wiring to make sure it's working before doing this, or it can be kind of a mess. We're going to boot down, slide that right over. Put our wire loom back on. And if we slide that back just a little bit, we can actually fit that right into the back of the wiring. Gives us a really nice look. Put a little sealant around that. Then we'll bolt it into place. Now we can just zip tie that up behind the base plate there. It looks nice and clean. All right, now we're ready to get that ran up into our engine compartment. We'll use a couple of zip ties along the bottom side here, just to kind of keep it nice and secure. Then from this point, I'm just going to run it straight up behind that air box, and we'll get as much up there as we can, just so we can actually grab onto something when they get up there. Now we'll go up there and pull it on through. And once we get it up top here, we also want to zip tie it off. I'm going to run it in behind these vacuum lines here. I'm going to run in behind those. Another zip tie there will do a good job of keeping it anchored out. You'll see right here is our positive battery terminal. We just need to hook into one of these studs here. Go under our negative terminal there. And I'm also going to run behind this bundle of wire. So we'll trim off the wire loom. We don't need quite that much. So I want to snip my wire just past the end of that wire loom. I'm going to strip the ends of those back. This is the one I've cut off. Strip that and strip our other one there. Now then, to the end of each one of those, we'll add on one of the blue ring terminals that have the smaller hole. Now with the 5/16 inch bit driver, we'll use the self-tapping screws to get this in place. Just going to go right into that panel right there. Now the charge line that comes from the front of the vehicle, it's going to go on the silver stud. Just like that. And then the one that's going to go to the battery, it's going to go on the copper stud. Now I'm going to use another one of our provided zip ties, and what I'll do is just go back on that cable as far as I can, and I'm going to zip tie it off. This is going to make it act as like part of the actual battery cable. That way if they ever remove the positive terminal there, this will go with it rather than being something else that'll have to be messed with. Trim off the length that we need there and get it stripped back. Now we'll take the ring terminal that's got the larger hole on it, get that crimped on. We're going to back off the nut that's on top of that middle one. It really doesn't matter which one you use. That one just works out well for us. Place our ring terminal on it and then just put the nut right back on. Alright. Now we just need to tighten down our two nuts here. Alright, should be in good shape there. Now a quick way to test it out to make sure we've got a good connection is with the test light. We'll just ground it to the vehicle, and then if we touch that center pole, we should have 12-volt signal. Alright, that indicates that we've got a good, solid connection between our plug and the battery. So when we put power in, it'll go up to our battery and keep it charged while we're heading down the road. And that'll complete our installation of the Roadmaster Battery Charge Line Kit for towed vehicles, part number RM-156-25 on our 2016 Jeep Wrangler Unlimited.
Click the link below to shop, learn more, or visit us at eTrailer.com.